Chattanooga attacks, killing 5 brave Americans in uniform, shedding light on so-called gun-free zones, areas where military members and others cannot carry weapons. Now, governors from these 6 states, Indiana, Florida, Arkansas, Oklahoma, Louisiana, and Texas, are now arming their National Guard. Now, Georgia, by the way, already allows the National Guard to arm themselves if they choose to, and Tennessee is looking into new changes to prevent another attack like this from ever happening again. So Congress is also expected to propose a bill overturning that ban this week. So joining us now is Texas Congressman Louie Gohmert, who sponsored the similar legislation last year. And I would believe that if that bill was put in place, this could have potentially been prevented. I want to read from a joint statement from Republican Senators John McCain and Mac Thornberry, who are, by the way, heading negotiations over the National Defense Authorization Act, which is set to be finalized within days. And it says this: long before the Chattanooga attack, we had been working to clarify a post commander's authority to allow carrying of personal firearms. Why didn't the Pentagon act on this long ago?
That's a great question. And the fact is, Mac Thornberry is speaking with some authority and with legislation to back up what he's saying. John McCain, on the other hand, he is a war hero for what he suffered in the Vietnam War, but he's certainly no hero for what he's been stopping. We couldn't find a single senator that would bring the same amendment that Scott Riggle, a number of us have co-sponsored in the House. We got it as a part of the National Defense Authorization Act. The Senate is now negotiating with the House on that final bill. They would not one single senator would bring that amendment to the Senate floor. John McCain didn't want it, so I'm thrilled that John McCain is at least verbalizing that he wants to allow our military to protect themselves. That has not been his position in the past.
Yeah.
So.
No, it's interesting that you bring that up. UCM Joth writes me on Twitter that, and he's said it before, that Senator John McCain twice voted against funding of body armor. So not only are these guys, these men and women, not armed, but they're not even protected if somebody shoots at them. I don't even understand how that could be true. It's hard to believe.
Julie, that's a great point. So not only should we allow somebody in the military to be armed at each location, but in our recruiting stations, for heaven's sake, put up a bulletproof partition to protect them the way we're protected in Congress. Not when we get out on the street, but for heaven's sake, they need to have bulletproof protection there. They are sitting ducks. We've seen it over and over. And after the first Fort Hood shooting, I was trying to get people to agree to legislation. I drafted the Save Our Soldiers, SOS Act, and we couldn't get enough support. And then there were more shootings. The House is on board, and we just need John McCain to match his word with his acts.
We should.
And let me tell you, Julie, we've been hearing about the FBI, everybody's doing what they can. Look, we were told when the Patriot Act was renewed that this is the very kind of guy they're supposed to be researching. They're supposed to be monitoring everybody, especially people who are Muslim on a visa, and they keep going back to the Middle East. And if they had contact with any foreign terrorist group or foreign terrorist individual, then that's who the Patriot Act was supposed to go after. Instead, they spent so much time going after every American that they hadn't had time to watch the real suspects.
When you speak of John McCain, he was in the military. He knows what it's all about to be armed and protected. These military personnel should be no different than police officers. They are training to protect and serve, much like the police officers on the streets. They are armed. Why not arm the military as well? I mean, it makes no sense.
Well, actually, we've had some commanders, and understand oftentimes when you get 1 or 2 stars, you're a commander of a huge installation. Some of them, not all, are so anxious to get another star that they suck up to what the president says. They know the president didn't want to do this, so they've said, hey, look, and I've had commanders tell me, look, You know, you've been in the military. I was 4 years at Fort Benning. You know, there's some guys that you don't want carrying a weapon around the post. And my answer is, yeah, and
How
we
about
always
at least at all points of entry?
Out.
You know what? I get the whole walking
That's
around
right.
the post thing, but at least at the very minimum, okay, security personnel be placed at all points of entry in military barracks. That should be in place right now.
We should have somebody carrying at every location on military installations and even recruitment offices. Somebody needs to be carrying. And to the commanders that say there's some of our guys you don't want carrying weapons, process them out so you can trust your guys.
Congressman
That includes
Gohmert,
men and women.
Thank you very much. We really appreciate that.
Thank you, Julie.
Thank you.